Hello, and welcome to another game development broadcast for Project CSK. We're going to be continuing to work on the project like we have been doing for some time. And of course, the online name that I go by is Des, and I am the creator of the project, trying something a little different this time around. So I'm multicasting to both Twitch and YouTube. So we'll see how that goes, whether it's positive or not, or if my computer or internet can handle it. I don't know. We'll see. But it's going to be an interesting experiment. And if it works out fine, great. I'll continue to do that. I have a feeling it'll be just fine, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, so we're going to continue working on the project. Previously, I've been focusing on the UI and trying to clean that up because, like I mentioned in the previous broadcast, that the goal with this as it is right now is to get it to be a playable state. This is going to be the alpha game, right? So I'm cleaning up a lot of stuff, all those things, the to-do things that I left and I said, I'll do it later, I'll clean it up later or whatever, something along those lines. This is when I have to fix it. And I'm catching a lot of bugs, a lot of mistakes, a lot of logical flaws, a lot of design decisions that I would like to rethink. Right. And then I'm also catching other things like requirements for certain components that I kind of did manually, which is fine and it works. But when you have to make modifications and whatnot regularly to something and it can be a little bit convoluted, it's a time sink and it's prone to human error. And that's something that I want to eliminate as well, because if later on down the line, I have someone help me with some of the design stuff or whatever it may be, I want them to be able to have components that make sense that they can use. So then it wouldn't be just purely done through code. So it actually can be modified through the Unity inspector, which is very powerful using serialized fields, components, scriptable objects, and things of that sort, of course. You know, it's not possible to make something that fits every single scenario, but for this project, I'm definitely trying to implement functionality that makes sense for this project and what's required for this project, and have it be versatile enough so that later on I can make tweaks and adjustments. And if I need to, the code should be clean enough that I can go in and I can make modifications relatively easily without having to stumble my way through technical complexities of code architecture. So that's kind of the idea. What I did recently, of course, is that I've made the dynamic structured UI pathing. So it's not using Unity's UI pathing, it's using my own UI pathing. Of course, it still uses Unity's pathing functionality at its core, but it doesn't use Unity's auto-generated pathing of which direction of what interface item goes which direction when you give input, like left and right with the arrows. So my own pathing is something that took a little while to figure out, but once I figured it out, I was quite pleased with it. And it's something that I'm looking to improve on over time, but I think it's pretty good at this point as it is right now. So, and then what I did afterward is I implemented the scroll view component, or sorry, not scroll view component, an auto scroller for the Unity scroll view plane, which Unity surprisingly doesn't have on its own. So I made my own, and that one, it turned out really well, and it's working flawlessly. And then what I'm doing is next step, I did a little bit of the UI. Actually, I can just kind of go over that real quickly here. So you can see what there is from the UI. So when we run it, I recently restructured the settings page a little bit because I was trying to figure out how I want to make that. But so this is, of course, the pathing that's illustrated. The yellow lines are the pathing. So this is using the arrows, and I can navigate through my UI just with arrows, and it's very intuitive in the way that it works, and it's exactly how you would think it would work, because the idea is for it to support gamepad, a mouse, keyboard, and touchscreen, and all of them at the same time on any device, any supported device, right? So this works very well. right, in terms of UI. And then the last one, or the recent one that I got to, was this one is just the settings page. So it's a little plain right now, but I want to move some setting stuff into here in the future. There won't be too much, but similar idea to how we have this here. When you go into it, I want to be able to scroll through the settings stuff, and that's something I will get to. But something else that I noticed is that, so right now I can't, there's no body of content to scroll through. Something else I noticed though is I'm using a lot of these Unity scroll view components, and they are, let's just say each time I've kind of ended up rewriting it and to fit different purposes. I never actually made one that's a generic purpose one that you can just use, right? So that's something that I want to address, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on today. And that's something I think is going to be really important because it's the same concept. So this is used here. It's used here, right? It's going to be used here. It's going to be used here. It's going to be used here. It will not here. In the messenger, it'll get used. In the friends list, it'll get used. So the same one, you can see a recurring theme, right? In the guild area for your guild members, it'll definitely get used here, not here, not here, but other areas in the game will also use it. Like later on, when we get to the inventory system and the NPC shops and whatnot, they will also use that kind of functionality. So it makes sense to not rewrite it every time like I have been doing, because I have like probably 5 or 6 different versions of it now. So what I want to do is create some base classes for it that does the functionality of what it is that I need, and then be able to extend on that class to just make it do specific things where appropriate. But I want most of that core functionality into the base class and the list item base class. And I think that's the better direction to go. So then I'm not copying, pasting, and then modifying code again and again. I'd rather extend from it and then have the base class be more versatile, really, is what I'm saying, and reusable. And that's kind of the idea. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and that's what we're going to be working on. So let's see how that goes, and we'll see. Of course, if you have any questions or anything along the way, by all means, feel free to ask. I don't mind. Or if you're just coming by to say hi, that's okay too. I don't mind. All right. So what I want to do is I need an area to work inside of. I think what I'll do is probably, because the simplest one I can think of right now is probably the friends one. I'll take that, I'll break it kind of, not completely, of course, but to an extent, I'll break it, but then I'll fix it up, of course, afterward. So let's see, because I'm going to use the friends one as the reference for the starting bit of the functionality. And then every single other use case will keep adding on its own functionality. So let's go into this prefab here. So you can see that the scroll view, of course, has a canvas. So I will likely take it from its canvas. No, probably one up, because I'm going to make it into a prefab. Yeah. I don't like to have canvases or the topmost object of a prefab be a canvas, because then the settings, the canvas settings look a little strange. I'd rather it be a game object and then canvas as the first child, and then everything else either below that or in parallel to the canvas itself. Okay, so this is kind of where we're going to be working off of. So let's see. I think everything is nested inside the canvas. Perfect. You know what? I could probably just use this because I don't think I have any specific logic attached onto here. So what I'll do is I will probably duplicate it. Yeah. Okay, so this seems safe to use. Okay, so what I'll do then is I'll go from the canvas. Okay, so just having the canvas selected, Control D to duplicate, right? and then we'll move this one over. So this is going to be our thing. But like I said before, I want to have a parent object to it. So we will, actually, let's use the shortcuts. Okay, so this one is going to be a component scroll view. No, it should be a component GUI scroll view. I think that makes a bit more sense. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this will be our custom component. What it will have is it'll have some of the core functionality that we need. And that includes the auto scroller. So that one we can add here for now, and we'll implement it a little bit later. Or I could even just do it now. Actually, no, I'll leave it here for now, but I'll actually implement the functionality for it at a later time. Let's see. So then from this, what I want to do then is I need a base class to work off of for this. And I'm going to put all the functionality into the base class. Let's go over here into our scripts, components. Yeah, okay, right here seems good. Right click, create C#. I'll make it the same name as what the prefab is going to be. We'll open it up. I've got a bunch of stuff open. I'll need to clean some of this stuff up a little bit. Of course, I will, whoops, not that, namespace. So we'll namespace it. I don't know what I will need and won't need. For sure, I'll need the start. I don't think I'll need the update. Let's see. And then what we'll do is we'll take this and apply it to this object here. Once it lets me select it, okay. So that's going to be our scroll view component, right? And then what I'll do is I'm just going to move this one up one. So it just kind of goes in order of hierarchy. That we'll mess around with that a bit later. So what will this need? That's a good question. So what we'll need is a prefab, which will be used as the list items that it will use to create or replicate. Let's go with it for now, and we'll figure it out. So private game object prefab list item. Whoops, I'll make it as a private, of course. Okay, so that's going to be, and then we have our friends here. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to copy over some of this functionality. Oops, over here. I'm going to copy over some of this functionality over. What do we not need? User information, won't need that for now. Okay, so we need prefab list item. We will definitely need a reference to the content area to be able to add to the appropriate nesting. Okay. So we'll need a list item prefab as well. So we'll make that as a base and then we'll extend from it and add additional functionality. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's see. Waiting for value. I don't think I'm going to do that yet. We'll add that kind of stuff a bit later. We'll need a dictionary for sure. For all the items that it's going to be containing, because the items are going to have an ID that uniquely identifies them. My camera died again. Okay. Yeah, my camera will die often. I'm using an old cell phone. That I have I'm using Lineage OS on it, and then I'm using that as my camera. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's see. So we have prefab. So that'll be the one that we'll use for creating all of the objects and whatnot. And then we have the content area, which is good. We'll need a dictionary for sure. So let's make that. So it'll be private dictionary. The type of the class is yet to be defined. So I'll just go with object for now, and then I'll fill it in later. Okay, so that's going to be our dictionary of items. The list menu action items and requests, that's going to be something I'll add at a later time. That'll definitely need to be added, and it will go into this core functionality. And then I'll likely make some virtual functions that we can override to add additional functionality. Yeah, for sure we'll do that. Oh, right, this needs to extend from component. Or does it need to? I think it does. Component focus element. So then start will need to be treated as an override, kind of. So you'll need to say base.start. And then the onDestroy, same thing. It'll need to say base.onDestroy. We're going to need some listeners. So we'll say private void add event listeners. And then we'll do the same, but the opposite, of course. So then add event listeners will go into the start. The remove, of course, will go into the destroy. That's fine. Okay, so we got the basics of it, but what we need is now we need to make sure that it's being set correctly. Right, and we'll need to make a prefab out of it. I'll make a prefab afterward, but now with this, there's going to be a lot of functionality. So on select, it should also have a selectable. Oh, it didn't apply that yet, but it will. It will have a selectable in here as well. Sometimes it doesn't do that right away, but if I hit play and then hit pause, it'll pop up. So what it's going to do is selection is going to go to previous selection for sure. Whatever was previous selection. This will be primary orientation. Actually, I don't think it will matter. Yeah, I don't think this one matters. Not yet anyway. So we'll leave that as default. Leave all of this stuff as default for now. Yeah, let's just hit start and then stop it, just so it adds the components. Okay, so that should have added selectable. Oh, still not. Interesting. That's interesting, because if you have, yeah, so it should have added selectable and component on select register. Maybe it's because I had it open. Let's do this instead, because sometimes when you have a prefab open and you hit play, Unity does some weird stuff in the background. I'm not sure exactly what it's doing, but it does something. Okay, so now if we go into this and select this, there we go. So now we have the scroll view. That one actually we added before. Selectable is the one I wanted because I want to change this stuff to none and then say none and then go to explicit because that'll be set by my own script. Okay, component on select register, script. Yeah, okay. And that's fine. All right, so we got the basics of it, but we need to make some room for some more stuff. So specifically over here, we need a little bit of separation from the base class. So we'll need to say header and just give it a header. Scroll view required fields. We'll just say that. That way it just adds a little bit of separation in between the base class and this. Okay, so we got our scroll view required fields. So we have the prefab and we have the content area. Perfect. So that's ready to go. All right, so let's see. What else do we need? We need, okay, so we need to create this item as well and a prefab. And then we're going to add some sorting stuff as well, right? So we're going to need using system.link because we'll be applying the sort when we get to that point. So for right now, we'll just leave it as that. Unity event system. I don't know if I'm quite using that. I don't think I am using that in here. I think I was at one point and then it got disabled. Okay, so we'll need a test function. Definitely want to bring that over. We will put that, I guess, here. Because I like to have a test function for all of these just so we can make something happen relatively quickly. This stuff, we don't need that just yet. Like I said, I'm going to keep borrowing as much logic as I can from here to see all of the things that we need and then make it versatile so then we can use it in different use case scenarios later on. How are we doing? Okay. All right. Let's see. So with that, I want to be able to create a list item. So we're going to need that function. I think that's going to be one of the first ones that I'm going to bring in. Of course, I'm going to rename it. So this is not what it's going to return, of course, and we'll get to that shortly. But what I want to do is change some of these fields around. Actually, let's change the function name first. So it'll be create, just a generic create list item. So that'll keep it nice and generic. And then this will be the unique ID. Whoops. This will be the string title. And then we'll leave online as a optional field. I'm just thinking. Let's actually leave online in there for now, but not optional. So we'll leave it like that for now, temporarily. Okay. And I'm going to create this other one pretty soon. That looks like test information. Test create list items will be called from start, of course. So we'll say if single framework instance dot io manager dot is connected to server equals false, we'll create test items. We'll say just 5. Else use use real-time information. Okay. Actually, no. Use it should really be use information pulled from server. Maybe not pulled. Pulled is not the right word. We'll say provided. Provided by the server. I think that makes a bit more sense. Okay, so we got test create list items. It creates a bunch of stuff. Okay. This and this, we'll get into that later. List item, that's going to be the object name. Yeah, so I think we're ready to create a prefab. And I want to create a generic one first is what I want to do. And the best one to use is probably this one right here. Okay, we'll give Unity a little bit of time to catch up. Oh, that's not the prefab. Okay, I was kind of hoping that was the prefab. So where's our prefab then? There's our prefab. Okay, so I'll just hit Control D to duplicate it. And the duplicated version, I will call it panel component GUI scroll view list item. I know it's a bit of a long-winded one, but I think it's important to call it pretty much what it's going to be. Okay, so this will be our kind of our default one that I'm going to work off of because it has a lot of the stuff that we already need. So what I need to do also is I need to make a base class from this. So we'll go into our scripts. Instead of component, create C# script, and we'll call it the same name as the prefab. Of course, I want to namespace it. Okay. So with that namespace, I don't think we'll need to update. We might need to start, but I think that's okay for now. So let's go ahead and attach that back into our prefab object. Looks like we already have button, which is fine. Yeah, so this is the class that I'm going to be replacing. And we have our pointer events, which is perfect. So I'll leave that as is. And we have that. Okay, good. So I won't need to do that stuff. Oh, it failed because there's an error. User needs to, oh, okay, right. Of course, I can't do that until I go and clean up some of this stuff. I forget that sometimes, but it's a minor detail. It's easy to overlook. So we'll say return, we'll just say return null for now. I'm okay with that. Just want to make the errors go away. Okay, so now I should be able to add that. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to this class now, because this has everything that I pretty much need. I'm going to take everything out of this because eventually this will be replaced, or actually maybe not replaced, but this will extend from the base class, and this will be the base class. So we'll put this stuff here. It's using buttons, so we'll need to say using Unity Engine.ui. I'll need to move this up. And then remove that. And we need to say using TMP Pro, Text Mesh Pro, of course. Okay. So that addresses this. So we have the player name is now going to be changed to, let's close this one just so I don't accidentally modify that one. Player name is now going to be underscore text title. Icon is going to be just icon, I think, is adequate. Icon offline is going to be, yeah, I'm okay with, I don't know about that icon thing. Button is fine. Title is fine. Icon should probably actually be changed to like portrait. And these, instead of being called icon, could be image. Yeah, let's do that. Instead of icon, we'll change it to image, or not image, indicator. Indicator or status or something. What would be the right term here? Can go with indicator for now. I might change that later. Oops. Did I not? Oh. I didn't do a search and replace. There we go. All right, so that looks a bit better. This icon term, I don't like that. It's not very generic. I'll change that to something else later. But for right now, I think that's okay. What I'm going to change is UserDB is now going to be unique ID. Player name is going to be text title. Online is fine. Button is fine. On click is fine. Or handle on select is fine. And yeah, okay, so this stuff is fine. What we need to do now is replace the other. So what we want to do is replace this class. So are we in the right prefab? Yes, we are. GUI panel component friends list, this one will get removed. Instead, we're going to be using this one, which panel component GUI scroll view list item. Oh, there's an error. Okay, that's why. Whoops. I do forget about that sometimes. I think I just have an extra bracket in there. So that should fix it. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, so text title, we need to rename this stuff as well. That's going to be title. Instead of icon, we're going with indicator. Indicator, and then player icon is going to be just, I was thinking portrait, but it'll get used for different things. So let's just go with icon for now until I find a more appropriate name for it, and then I'll change it up at that time, is kind of what I'm thinking here. Okay, so title is of course going to be title, icon to icon, button to button, and then the online and offline. Okay, so that makes it a lot more generic, kind of. Okay, so now we can use this. Let's move this over to here. Okay, so now we can use it here. So back to this area, instead of it just being an object reference, now we're providing a correct reference to a scroll view list item. And then anything that extends from it will also still work because the base class is that. So it'll work fine in that dictionary. This will return this list item, instantiate prefab list item, new XYZ quaternion.identity. That's correct. We set the transform to the content transform. Okay, we still haven't set this reference. Okay, so that's when we instantiate it, and then we can get the item. So we get it, we set its parameters, and then we can return the item with the function call. So I think that works for us, right? So this will be title. And then this will be unique ID. So all I'm doing is just making it very generic. And then online is, of course, going to be online. Add listeners to list items. So this doesn't exist yet. I will create that. This will be unique ID, of course. Okay. So I think we're good so far. I don't think we're using that, are we? Oh, that's what it's telling me. Yeah, this looks good. So now we can create test items and they should populate. Okay, so we're set to 5 right now. Okay, Let's test that out. We'll need to set a couple of references first, of course. Okay, so this will need the prefab reference, and it will need the prefab and then content. So the content is going to be viewport content. Prefab is of course going to be the that prefab that we made. So that was prefab component. No, it was in GUI, wasn't it? Prefab's GUI. Oh, I should move that out of GUI and into component if I did not do it. No, maybe not. It's related to the panel, so whatever. I'll leave it for now. So which one is it going to be? It's going to be this one here. Yeah. Okay, so we have that. Let's test it and see what does it look like when we run it. Okay, so it crashed. That's not good. Prefab list item not assigned. Really? I thought that's exactly what I did though. Oh, okay. Whoops, that's my bad. I put it in the wrong location. So this will be the prefab, and I copied over the component or the content area to the wrong location. That's my bad. Okay, this should work, I think. And then we'll give it the scroll functionality as well. But okay, so let's see it work first. Okay, perfect. So that is our buttons working, and they're interactable, which is great. So there's our 5 buttons. Okay. So what I want to do next is I want to continue to expand on the basic logic. So it needs to do its referencing. It needs to add listeners, and so on. And then this will replace this one here, and it'll go and replace the scroll view and all other parts of the game pretty much. It'll need to be extended on, but for the most part, sorry, this will not get extended on. This will have the core functionality. It's the other stuff that will get extended on. Wait, that's a little confusing. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, let's see. What I want to do next is I want to add the mono behavior. I think we're okay for that. So what I want to do is after adding items to it, we should be able to set the references, the vertical references, so you can navigate up and down. But do we really need to though? Because I already have that logic. Yeah, let's do it the easy way for now. And then, because I'm going to need to implement some sort stuff to it as well. So I don't want to, I don't want to overcomplexify it right at the beginning. I want to leave some stuff not committed yet, and then we'll add on to it at a later time. And we'll see how that goes. But for right now, I think this is a good starting point for this. So with that, what I want to do is I want to bring in update all navigational references. So this function call. And then we'll need sort children. We'll need to get button from index. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that we need to do. Handle focus set. Yeah, we'll definitely need to bring that in as well. Create friends list item. Okay, so we've already brought that in. This one here is just to add the is to get the button out of the component and then use the shorthand to add a listener to it, remove a listener to it. I think we can just do that one right now, actually. Because that's going to be for later usage. Yeah, I think I can just grab that and bring that stuff in. And then instead of going game object, we can just pass in the item. So then I don't have to do this. It'll just be directly accessible as item. Because then item will have game object. Okay, so we don't have that function yet. And then I'll do the same over here to the remove listener. Okay, and then the handle on click. Do we even need that? I don't think we even need that. I think we can go this component all the way. We don't need to pass it in as a game object and then pull that. That's an unnecessary logic for no reason, really. So instead of getting the game object out of that, we can just pass it in as an item. That simplifies it a bit. So then this, if we want the game object, we can say item.gameObject. Probably won't need that either. Okay, so this is future logic. We will not be using this anytime soon. This we will also not be using, but for right now, I'll just say debug.log. Item clicked, and then we'll say item.name. Right, so that way we get something output. So we have the add listener, but then what about the remove listener? Where does that go? So the remove listener should be called from remove all list items. Perfect. So we do have that. So that'll go through the dictionary, and then where's the other call? And the other one is manager friend. Okay, so that's a remove. Okay, so we'll make a function for that because we have create list item, and we will have a because I want to be able to remove not just one, but all. So we have the all, but I think we just need a singular. So let's do that. And then have this function, the remove all, call that one. So we'll make private void remove list item. And then this will use the unique ID. I can't spell. It will use the item unique ID. Yeah, we'll do that. And then from that, what we'll do is we will get the item, but we'll of course need to do a check to see if dictionary items dot contains key unique ID, if it equals true, then we can remove it. But if it equals false, actually, let's do it this way. If it equals false, we'll do nothing. But otherwise, if it does exist, then we should be able to say that I get it from the dictionary items. Oops. Dictionary items, and we'll say unique ID. What am I missing here? Dictionary items. Oh, do we need to go through? I forget. Is it get? No, it's not get. Why does it not like that? I'm overlooking a simple detail. Okay, that should be remove list item, or sorry, remove listener from list item, and we're just passing an item. Oh, that's why. Scroll view list items, and then item will be list item. Okay, so that's correct. So that means I made the same mistake here. That's why it was giving me an error. Okay. And then we can safely call remove and then destroy. So we can call remove destroy, and then we can say dictionary item dot remove unique ID. So then we can replace this item dot unique ID. So that should work. And then in this case, we know we're going to be clearing the dictionary. In this case, we don't. That's fine. We just need to remove that one object. Okay, so now we have both scenarios. However, this needs to go in the destroy. So on destroy, remove listeners. remove all list items. So that's good. We got that part covered. Let's see. What else do we need here? T is good. So we got the on click, we got the remove, we got the clear all on destroy. Oh yeah, we don't have this function yet. Handle on select button item. Oh really? We don't have that? I thought I brought that over. Okay. Okay, so that's for the scrolling part, which is good because we're going to add that or we're going to fix that up real soon. Already have that logic ready to go. And I'm glad I did that earlier because it worked out so well. I really like that, the usability of that scrolling within the scroll view to auto scroll to your selection. Unity really should have that built in my opinion, or at least have a component class that you can attach, or maybe it does and I'm not aware of it. But for my searching online, people are making their own solutions and I didn't find the exact one that I needed. So I ended up just making my own and it turned out really well. I'm glad I did that. Okay, so this looks ready to give it another test. So let's have a look at that and see. Okay, so what do I need to populate? I need to populate the auto scroll. Okay. So for this, we need the viewport. Viewport rect transform, I believe, is the scroll view rect transform. Nope, viewport rect transform. Okay. Content is, of course, going to be content, and then vertical layout group is going to be, I believe, part of the content. Yeah. Okay. So that's all we need to set for that. I think that should be okay. So let's have a look at it and see if it crashes or not, because there's a chance I may have overlooked a little detail or two, but we'll find out very soon. So we'll go over to friends list. Okay, so it didn't crash. Okay, so it didn't transition to that, which is fine. But so far it looks like it's kind of working okay. Okay, so no crashing. That's good. All right. What we need to do is we need to add the, what do we need to add next? I want to add the referencing. So I want to add this here. So I want to add this. And then we're going to create an override conditional thing for that, I think. However, for right now, what we need to do is just add it in under add. I guess we can just go straight to the bottom and add that in here. We'll definitely need to replace all of these friends ones. So let's just do a search and replace. So all the friends will be replaced by scroll view list item. replace all 10 occurrences. Okay. I didn't know there was 10 of them in here, but sure. Let's go with that. Okay, so navigation, we don't have navigation. Navigation is a part of, oh, right, of course. When you'd say using Unity engine.ui, that will give us navigation. And then instead of player name, it is going to be title, online title. So then we still need get button from index and sort children. Okay, so those are our next two. Sort children and get button from index. Again, I will be replacing these. Okay, so that should have built out the references. I'm just going to put this here for testing. So when I go and run this, I should have vertical references from top to bottom, no matter what size the list is, however many items it has. I should be able to navigate through them. Nope, it crashed. Null object reference at what point? In navigation selection up, on select up. Okay, so that's legacy. What I need to do is check if select on up does not equal null, right? If it does not equal null, then we can set it, I believe. I think that's what it's telling me. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay. So these should have vertical references. So on the down, that's correct. It goes down to this one. This one has an up. So this one has an up and a down. And if I keep going down, it'll go through the list. That means if I click one of these and I press down, nice. Okay. So now it goes through them. It doesn't loop at the top or the bottom. That's something I'll look into a little bit later. But for right now, so the next thing I want it to do is I want it to scroll to selection, like for example this one, because it goes outside of the viewable masked area. I want it to scroll to that one, and I have the logic for that. I just need to link it. But let's increase the size of the list as well, so we have more stuff to scroll through. So from 5 we'll go up to 10. It'll work the same. It's just more stuff to scroll through. Okay, so how do we do the vertical scroll linking? Where's my, okay, so handle on select button item. Handle on select button item. Add and remove. Oh, that's interesting. That should have actually worked. Why did it not work? I think it is because of single framework instance dot check initialized. I think it's because of that. Let's find out though, because I think that should have worked. Let's find out. Okay, so we'll go to friends, click on one of these, and let's see. Nope, still not going. Okay, so that was not it, but I do want to leave that there. Really should be using bookmarks. So let's clear any previous bookmarks, and then we will add a bookmark here. Handle selection changed. I didn't see any errors, so I don't think it's crashing. I'm likely just forgetting something. Okay, so this old one, that's legacy, not going to be using that. I do need the handle on select button item. Okay, so this should be dispatching it. Oh, I think I forgot to set the references in the prefab. I think that's what happened. So let's go have a look at that prefab. Because I think that's what happened. Not 100%, but I'm fairly certain I did not. Where is the pointer events? Yeah, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. Okay, that's fine. Easy fix. Drag that there, drag that there. And then go with this, and then on deselect. And then go with this, and then choose the select option. So on select. Handle on select, and then I think that's it. Oh, on click. Okay, we need the on click as well. On click. Okay, so there's our references. That looks more correct. Okay, so when we go back to here and we go and run it, now the scroll view should auto scroll with the transition to the appropriate item. There we go, perfect. And we're getting that nice transition. It seems to be cutting off at the bottom slightly. Why would it be cutting off slightly? Did we not set padding? Let's have a look at that. So content, yeah, top, oh, bottom padding. Yeah, so we need a bottom padding. Otherwise, it will cut off by one row of pixels. So if we have a top padding of 2, bottom should have a padding of 2 as well. Yeah, for a second there, I thought it was the code logic, but it's actually not. It's just something that I overlooked. So now we should get a perfect scroll. There we go. That's perfect. Yeah, so we can select any item that we want, and it will always scroll into view if it's outside of the view. And then if we click on it, oh, I thought it was going to do an output. Oh, it does do an output. Okay. Yeah, okay. then if it loses focus, it gains it back. Nice. Okay. Yeah, no, that's pretty good. In terms of functionality, that's kind of got the basics of it. There's going to be some more stuff, of course, I want to add in. But for right now, I think that's pretty good in terms of the basics of it. I'm not sure if we needed to extend from that. But I'll leave it as is. I mean, it's not a huge deal. We'll see. If I don't need it, I'll remove it later. But for right now, I think it's okay. So let's see. Functionality wise, I think that's pretty good. I do want to change this up. What I'll likely do is I will branch this off and have it be multiple functions, protected functions, that then I can override to alter the search for the future. So then this will have I don't think I even need to do that now that I think about it, because I'm really only going to be using online and title. So if I need to add another, we'll see. I don't want to overthink it. For right now, I think we're good in terms of all the functionality, the base functionality that I needed here. So then this separates the logic of just the scroll view area. So we have our prefab. You have a prefab start on destroy. Create list items. Update button navigational references. So we'll need real information, meaning this is just the test information. And then this function should be able to be called from anywhere. So that means this will need to be a public. Okay, so that will be a public function. And then the on selection, so on click, where's my on click? This one here. This will redispatch an event. This logic won't take place here. This will redispatch. Yeah, because what menu gets shown will be relative to whether if it's the friends list, the guild, the NPC shop, or other. So that means the ad will also need to be public. So create list item. This will need to be public. And it will return list item. Okay, so that's correct. Yeah, it looks good so far. Okay, so next step will be, I want to bring this in and I want to replace the scroll view here. Oh, I need to make it into a prefab. Right. I need to make it into a prefab first. So let's do that. Okay, so there's our prefab. So now how do we bring that in? And replace this? I can actually just leave that there and just remove it afterward. Okay, so then now we need to link this up into the friends component. Okay, so now I get to remove everything from this one. Yeah, I get to remove everything from this one. That's going to break some stuff. That's fine there. Okay, so the ads, let's see, add, remove, on perform action. So those won't change. But instead of these references to dictionary, now it'll need to be nested inward because that logic no longer exists. Not in this level. It got moved. Let's see, what else can we remove? Handle friend added, handle friend removed. So that's going to be modified. This test function, don't need that. I'm just going to comment them out. I'm not going to completely take them out entirely. Not yet. Update navigational references, so that will also be gone. Sort children and the other one will also be gone. Handle focus set, that one will remain. All of this will be gone. So from there to here, that will remain here. Remove all list items. We'll take that out as well, because that's going to be pretty much a destroy type of call, which will go through the nested object. Okay, and then this one as well will also be gone. So yeah, this helps really, because all of that functionality is generic, right? It didn't need to be duplicated in every single one of these kind of spaces. What remains is somewhat unique functionality. And even that, I'm going to split it up a little bit to make it appropriate for the use case. Okay, so let's look at the errors. What we do need reference to is we do need reference to the to this component. So this will now be our serialized field. Serialized field, private, that, and then we'll call it component scroll view. Okay, so component scroll view. That should work. This should be changed. So we need a contains key check. We need a contains item, a public. Do I have that? I don't think I have that. No, I don't. That's okay. That's a simple one to add. Very simple to add. So we'll go here and we'll add a public Boolean contains item, and we'll say int unique ID. If no, actually not even. We'll say return underscore dictionary dot contains key unique ID. Okay, so then contains key will become contains, where is it? So contains key will be changed to contains item. And then dictionary dot to obtain an item okay, so we'll need to expose another one. Public Boolean get item. Sorry, not Boolean, of course. I meant to say that. Get item. And then int unique ID. If dictionary items dot contains key equals false, return null. Otherwise, return dictionary items unique ID. Okay, so this will be changed to so that will be changed to component scroll view dot get item. Actually, let's not do it that. I want to leave the line kind of side by side. So we'll just duplicate that and then do it that way, just so I can reference it. Component scroll view dot get item. Oh, right, because I'm not extending from it. That's why. I'll come back to that. I'll leave that as an error for now. I'll come back to that one. This should be easy fix. Then over here, contains key again, same idea. So it will be so this dot contains item. I'll need to come back to that one. I'll need to extend from that class. So we have a base class. Again, contains key will be contains item. This one I'll need to, I should have just extended from that first. I should probably just do that actually, because a lot of these reference that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that actually. So community friends list item. This will extend from yeah, let's do that. So this will extend from sorry, the friends item. No, this is right. Community panel friends list item that will extend from this one here. Oh, wow. It replaces basically everything here. Okay, that's fine. I'm just doing this so I can just comment all of it out in one go. Because I'm going to take all of this out. So from the bottom, pretty much to the top. So this will be redundant. Right. Sorry, I forgot which screen was active. I do forget that sometimes. If I forget, feel free to remind me. I get so caught up in the code, I sometimes forget which screen you guys see and which one I see or which one I'm currently viewing. So it's something that I need to improve on, and I'm aware of that, but I just can't help it. I get caught up in the code. Okay, let's see. So now that it extends from that, so the typecasting should now work. Yeah, okay, so now that that works, okay, then it should work now. Request remove friend. This now will be a unique ID instead. I have another one up here somewhere. Whoops. So player name, of course, is now title. This is a unique ID. Going down. Create friends list item. I'll get to that. Remove. So all of this logic gets replaced with the remove. So component scroll view dot remove. Oh, I didn't add a public remove item. I thought I did. Where was that? Yeah, no, it's private. Okay, so this needs to be public. So I need to be able to say remove list item and then pass in event object. Whoops. Event object dot user dbid. That's going to stay the same. And then, of course, we call update after remove. And then create friends list item. Item is going to be typecast as actually no, that's right. I'll leave that as is for now. Okay, let's keep going. Handle focus set. So we need a count. Same idea, I think. I'll expose a function called count. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll say public int count. Yeah, let's do that. So this will then be component scroll view dot count. Handle focus set. So we need the object, which will be, how will that work? It will be underscore component scroll view dot get item index position 0, and then No, we need a direct reference to the first child within the transform is what we need. That's exactly what we need. So let's go with public game object get first child. So whatever child is in the 0 index position. So if underscore content dot transform dot I think it's transform dot child count. Yeah, child. Is it child count or is it something else? I think it is child count. If child count greater than 0, actually it's child count equals 0, return a null. Otherwise, we'll return content.transform dot get child at index position 0 dot game object. I think that should work. Yeah, okay. That looks like it would work. So that should work there. And then over here, item, this was changed to unique ID and title. Okay, so that's most of them. There's still a couple items I skipped over. So create friends list item. What I'll do is I will make this function just because I want to modify it slightly. And likely in the future, I'll want to modify that some more. So we'll say private void, whatever that is. I'll clean it up in a sec. Friends list item. And then this will call and get underscore component scroll view dot create item. Yeah. That's what I want to do. So we'll say user DB string user nick. What happened there? String user nick and then online. Okay, so that should fix the last 2 function calls. So I don't need to typecast them. At that point, I'll typecast it on the return. populate friends list is not currently being used, of course, because we're not getting real-time information. I'll get to that in a little bit, but I wanted to really just clean up this class, and we can remove pretty much all of this commented out stuff now for the most part. Okay, let's see it in action. I don't know if I broke anything in the process, but we'll find out soon enough. Okay, I definitely broke some stuff, I think. Maybe not. I thought I did. Let's see what happens when we run it. Okay, so that crashed. Scroll view count equals 0. Oh, okay. First mistake, I didn't set the reference. So when we go into here, I should have set scroll view component. This guy right here. So that should hopefully work. We'll find out though. We'll find out very soon. Nice. Okay, so that means I can safely remove the other component and reposition this one on top, or the other nesting, because this is now the prefab. So now we need live data. We'll need to log in and get the real friends list stuff. Looks good. I like it. Okay, so let's position this in the correct location. So we can remove this, and then we can take this and put it over top of where that would be. So position, wait, what? Oh, okay. So this canvas needs to be at position 0 and 0. Width and height are okay. It'll look a little weird just for a few minutes. I'll fix that up real soon. Okay, so then we can take this and just move it down about here, kind of. I'm thinking 0.5. Nope, that's a bit, no, it seems okay. Where's the other one at? I'm wondering. Oh, is that minus 0.15? Oh, that's a different measurement. Okay. Let's just make sure everything is centered. Background, position X, scroll view. Okay, so as long as this stuff is centered, I'm okay with it. Yeah, so we'll move the parent object, and that looks pretty good. Let's go back here, give it another run, and have a look at it and see what does it look like. Nice. Okay, so that's working exactly as I want it to work. So it's scrolling perfectly, and we can navigate up. Okay, so I would say that's a success. Wait, no, I can't escape out of here. So I can't go up. That's something I forgot. That's something I forgot. We need to be able to navigate up and out. So this on, what was that one setting I had? Reference waiting for value, yes. So when we're waiting for value, what we want is to, when we obtain it, what value are we obtaining? On the waiting for value, so then what we want to say is, how do we do that? I want to set the direction and then call update all button navigation references, so then I can navigate up out of that grouping. But if I add it here, then I'm going to have to remember to add it every single time. But if I add it in here, I wonder, can I just set it directly? Set on select. Yeah, I don't think I have a function for that. No, I don't have a function for that. I'll need to create one. Because I have all of these. Where's the, nope, it's in the base class. So in here, I have my up, down, left, and right. What I'll need to do is I'll need to make a more generic function where I can just set the direction. Because I want to just call one function and have it manage and simplify things for me. I don't want to call and carry these functions over. I want to try to streamline it where appropriate, of course. And there's some places where it is appropriate, and other places it's not really appropriate, should I say? Okay, so let's see. What I want to do is I want to make it so we want a function so we'll call it public set direction value. Yeah, let's do that. So it will be public void set direction value. It will take the direction and then what it will do is it will take the value, I guess, pretty much. The direction value is going to be the focus element and then we'll do a switch. It will be direction case relative direction up. If it's on the up, we will call select on up equals focus element, and then same idea for the others is kind of what I'm thinking. So up, right, down, and left, and they should match up to right, down, and left. That way I just want to call this one function. So from here, I want to call set a direction value. It's going to be direction, and then I can't get away from that, can I? I was really hoping I could get away from because I can't differentiate between value, or which direction should I say? Internal event, direction change complete. But if I pass in value in through here, then I can pass in value in through here. I think that makes more sense. Let's do that. Let's go to the base of this. We'll duplicate it. So direction, and then it will be a component GUI focus element. And then where is this one called from? From there, and no, that's it. Okay. I can do that. Because then if I take that out, it gives me a bit more versatility. Maybe I don't want to take it out though. Or do I? I kind of feel like I want to take this out and see what happens. Let's do that. This is going to cascade. Oh no. Oh no. What did I get myself into? That's unfortunate. So then where does this one get called from? Because this one's got a bunch of references. Selection on direction change. Where are the calls? Oh, okay. So that's not that bad, actually. We can do this. Oh, we can definitely do this. Okay, let's keep going with it and see where it goes. So we'll go component, GUI focus element, and we'll say focus element. So over here, what we will do is we'll pass in a value. Okay, so that should resolve that. That should resolve that. And then over here, we should have component GUI wait, what? That definitely changes things. That really changes things here. So then I don't need direction for any of this stuff. These switch statements. Oh, wow. That's kind of cool. I'm surprised I didn't think about that earlier. I'll leave this. For testing. Button navigation. So I don't need to do this switch statement anymore. I can just access it directly. Let's remove that. These little things make such a huge difference, but you don't realize it initially. So then that just gets changed into one line. Oh, wow, that makes a big difference. That makes a big difference there. Because not only there, wait, no, I think I spoke too early. Because I still need to know which navigation. Yeah, no. Okay, that doesn't work as elegant as I thought. What it does do, though, still simplifies this a little bit. So I can go like this instead. That's if I even care to do that. I think it's pointless. I don't want to mess it up. For readability, this makes more sense, I think. even though it's the same, but really all I wanted was just this little piece here. So I think I'll leave it as that for now. If I can figure out a way to clean these 3 switch statements up, I will. But for right now, I'm not too concerned about it, honestly. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. How are we doing for time? Oh, wow. That time, it just goes by too fast. Need to slow things down a little bit. Okay, but with that though, now I have the ability to access a focus element. So from here, I will know component, a GUI focus element. Okay, so with that working, I can just take that and pass that in through here. And that simplifies this area. These two kind of go hand in hand. Call this first. Call after setting direction value. Okay. So all that just to be able to navigate outside of that grouping of focus elements. I think it's going to be okay. Wait, what? Oh. Okay. Still. What am I missing? Internal event, direction change. Oh, right. Of course. Okay. One more. Okay. I think that should be it. And we're good. Cool. Okay, so let's see if we can navigate out of that area now. Okay, so we can navigate into it. Everything's working fine. And then can we get out? Nope. Still no up. Interesting. So from here, okay, so that's not set. This is set. So when this is set, that should set it on this level. So from here, from friends, it's not setting it to here because I can see this has nothing. Okay. So from friends, let's close some of this stuff. So anything we don't need, I just want to close it just to kind of clean it up a little bit. That's fine. So from here, when we right from this point, it should be setting the set direction value to here. Did we not activate that? No, it didn't get called. Okay. So why did it not get called? We have base or start. We have on destroy. Check initialized, add event listeners, internal event direction change complete. This did not get triggered. Okay, so that calls there. Internal event direction change complete. We override that, but this didn't get called. Reference waiting for value. Oh, we didn't set this, did we? I think that's what we didn't do. I think that's what we need to do. We'll put it inside of the test though. So if is connected to server equals false, we are waiting for a value to be set. When that value is set, why are we even waiting for that? What we should be doing is, let's approach it differently. Instead of waiting for value to be set, where's this thing? Okay, so it's only really used there. Okay, so let's remove it. So what I really want is I want the up. If direction does not equal relative direction dot up, let's exit out of that. So only if it is up, value up, it will continue to this point, and it should set that value. And I think that's what was failing before. I wasn't being clear in my logic, but it should work. It should work. Let's have a look at it and see. There we go. That's how it should work. Perfect. So now it goes up and yep. Okay. So now it's working how it should. That means, yeah, I'll have to approach it in that way in other usages as well. This is exactly how it should behave. So our new prefab is almost ready. I still need to test it with real data, which I don't have time to do right now. That's something I'll have to do another time, probably tomorrow or something. But you get the idea of what it is that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build up the UI to have the functionality that it should have, both for aesthetics, of course, but also more to have the functionality so I can see how it would work in a real world scenario. Because when I give this to users to be able to play and log in and whatnot, it needs to work, right? And it needs to work in the way that it's supposed to. And we're getting there. We're getting very close. I'm glad that this stuff is being automated, so it will dynamically be generated instead of having to do it all manually, which was complicated and it was prone to error, which is what led me to automate all of this stuff and write code to do it for me, because I was making too many mistakes myself when I was setting those values, and it just didn't work out. It ended up being this time that I'm wasting just chasing around, seeing why is this referencing or that referencing not working the way that it should be working, when really it's the solution was simply just automate it so it calculates that stuff instead of having it be done by the user. And this way, when I go later on to make changes and whatnot, it'll be a lot easier. I'll just be able to drag and drop stuff, and the logic will just take care of all of it. It will be intuitive and very easy to do. But this is the idea. So once this component is ready, it's the same one that's going to be added to here. So inside of the guild, this will get replaced with that prefab. And then I'm going to add on a little bit of functionality onto it, of course, for the other text and whatnot that it needs to display. And then same will get used for here, right? So for inside of the lobby, it'll be used inside of this chat area. It'll be used inside of here and numerous other locations. It'll be used throughout because it'll be the it'll be kind of the default component for all of that functionality. And then later on, it'll get a little bit more complex when I go to use it for the user inventory. If I see it's getting a bit too complex, I might just branch off from it and not try to put too much into one prefab, if that makes sense. So then that can be on its own, and then I'll create an alternate similar to that, but still leveraging the same functionality, but adding on a bit to it. So the core functionality is still being utilized and not retyped out again like I was doing before, because that takes away quite a bit of code. Like when you look at the friends list or the friends class here, all of this green that I commented out, like that's a fair bit of code, right? Like that huge block right there, this stuff there, and this stuff at the bottom, that's quite a bit. It like cut it down by about half almost, right? So that helps clean things up. And then I can more easily add on to it, and it'll be more clean and less prone to error, because it'll be the same code that'll get used over and over and improved on and enhanced on. Okay, but that's going to be it for me today. So thank you for watching. I hope the YouTube broadcast also worked out well. I didn't see any comments on the YouTube one. There's a few people, more than a few people, that jumped in for a short period of time and then jumped out. That's fine. But that's okay. This was a good experiment. Now that I know how the YouTube side of it kind of works, vaguely, I'm still fairly new to this. It's all a learning experience. But yeah, I think definitely moving forward, I will be broadcasting both on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. That way, YouTube, for those users that want to use YouTube, they can watch it there. For those that want to watch it on Twitch, they can watch it there. Twitch doesn't do, what's it called? The different qualities, quality encoding. It's called, I forget the term. There's a specific term for it, but YouTube does. So YouTube allows you to downgrade the quality. If you don't want it at 1080p, you can download it down to, I don't know, something like 720p or 480p. So that's the nice thing. Transcoding was the word that I was looking for. YouTube gives transcoding to everyone, whereas Twitch does not. You only get whatever feed that I give Twitch, which is at 1080p. That's all you get, unless you become a member or I think a member or something. I don't remember. Something like that. Anyway, so that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, feel free to follow me on social media, whether it is on YouTube, on Twitch. You're welcome to join the Discord. The Discord is more about just the players. It's not so much about development. And then, of course, I do tweet on Twitter and Instagram only when I go live or when there's a new dev journal or something that's worth sharing. However, that's going to be it for me today. So thank you for watching. Have a great evening. I'll see you on the next broadcast, which will be Friday.